Hi, Islamic Dad here. This video is going to be different. Instead of my usual talks about narcissism, this one's going to be me talking about dating in 2023. Unless you want to consider me making a video like this about me being a narcissist. So, I ended my relationship with my ex-girlfriend about 5 months ago, and she had all the hallmarks of a covert narcissist. So that's why I started, making these videos. And throughout the past 5 months, I've done little check-in videos here and there. So this is kind of like that. But I just want to talk about the dating in 2023. A great description that I heard was that the dating pool in 2023 is like the kiddie pool at the public rec center, and they forgot to put chlorine in it for 2 weeks. That is what the dating pool is like in 2023. It is so bad. And, people joke about it, but no, that's accurate. Very, very true. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of, do a little bit of analyzing, and maybe, and I'll throw in some anecdotal stories. So I guess the most glaring problem in my eyes with why the dating pool is so bad in 2023 is that for whatever reason, there's been this real change in the culture where people have become really self-centered and selfish, and the media and everything keeps telling them that that's healthy. And while taking care of yourself is healthy, doing things to the detriment of others or society in general, I kind of feel like that's kind of crossing the line into doing something negative. So the issue, how that relates to, say, dating, is that a lot of people have, taken the time to, set their standards as far as what they want. And so they might set the bar here, and they might have, their little list of things they want, things they would really like, etc., which is fine. And I think that's good, because people shouldn't waste their time if they're dating. And so it's good to have an idea of that. So people will set this bar, say, this high for what they want when they're dating, and the problem is that they're down here. And so there's this really strange incongruency where you have people down here, and they're setting the bar for what they want to be dating way up here. And I think that to a large extent, that's dating in 2023 right there, is that you have excuse the term, human garbage. I'm sorry, that's so awful. But, that's just, if you've been dating in 2023, you know where that comes from. So you have these people down here that they haven't accomplished anything in life. They don't know where they're going. Their life is a mess. Physically, they're unhealthy. They don't really have goals. They're not doing anything to better themselves. Boom. And up here, they want the Olympic athlete with 3 doctorate degrees who is working on curing cancer. I mean, and it's okay, that's fine, but I don't think this person is looking down here for where they're, looking for people to date. And so, being in that is just very strange. And I have a feeling that, obviously these people are going to be single for a very, very long time. And again, given the self-centeredness of the culture in 2023, I don't see these people learning their lesson. I think they'll just complain about, oh yeah, you know, dating pool is pretty bad. So I hope everyone's recognized the hypocrisy of me doing that myself. But I mean, my experience, I would like to think is a little bit different. So, that's one issue. An issue that is something odd that like I've found a lot. And again, one of those weird things where like I don't ever hear or read people talking about this is a phenomena I call pen pals, where this isn't new. This is something I noticed dating 5 years ago, but I'm this isn't gender specific. I'm just dating women, so I'm going to use that gender. So this phenomena where I would like say talk to a woman through like an online dating app or something, and we'd hit it off and we'd be talking, and then after a while it became clear that these women don't have any intention of dating. So to be clear, they are on a dating site with no intention of ever dating anyone. So how's that for insanity? And what they want is what I refer to as pen pals. They want a guy or guys to chat with, maybe build as much emotional connection as you can over screens, share their life, blah 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 blah, but not to ever actually date. And one of the reasons that like I kind of want to call that out is that these women are not upfront about this. And they will there's I've had situations where they'll just cancel date after date after date, and I'm like, okay, it's obvious that that you just don't really have any interest in this, and that's fine. I'll good luck, talk to you later. And they're like, oh no, and then they'll just start talking again, and they don't see an issue with kind of going onto dating sites pretending that they're looking for people, to go out on an actual date, and then just leading them on. And, I think that's, kind of close to catfishing, as a term, kind of like that. I mean, for all I know, it's some hairy old guy sitting in his house, typing to me saying his name's Belinda. Poor Belinda. So there's like the weird thing with pen pals, and again, like I noticed that like 5 years ago, still around in 2023. Bizarre. I don't get it. So, anecdotally, one of the worst dates I had was where I was chatting with this woman, and after a couple days, we really hit it off, and we're like, hey, let's go meet at Starbucks, which I really like. I am on a dating site to date. I'm not there to chat for 5 months or forever. So I got to the Starbucks, a little bit early. I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, and she comes barging in, this crazy woman, and then I realize, that's who I'm here to meet. So I wave her over, and she sits down and she slams her fists on the table and says, I'm not messing around. I am sick and tired of dating. I am going to marry. I'm going to settle down, and we're going to have a nice life together. But I am not messing around. I am not, I am so sick and tired of wasting my time. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I can't do it any longer. I am sick and tired of this. I am not wasting my time. I am looking for a husband to marry, and that is what I want. And I was, okay. I know everyone's like, oh yeah, you're exaggerating or something. No, it was that insane. So I excused myself, went to the bathroom, just kind of, I don't know, splash water on my face or something, just kind of, come to terms like, okay, is this really happening? And then I was just like, okay, I don't want to be rude, but I need to get out of here. This lady's nuts. And so I just, came back to the table and said, look, I appreciate you, meeting me here, but I don't think this is going to work out. I'm not looking for a wife. Exit. And my thing is that, when you date, you just let it happen naturally. Again, that's just what works for me. So halfway between, like, I need a husband right now and the pen pals, is this other phenomena that I've noticed more in 2023. And again, I don't know if this is just me, but for me, I've kind of set a boundary for myself that I really only like to do the chit chat stuff online for 3 days, or if there's extenuating circumstances, maybe a week. But again, like I've been burned so bad with the pen pals that I've set that boundary for myself, where I just like, I have a life. I'm thankful for each day that I get, and I'm not going to waste another day on just chit chatting online. I just, life's too short for that. And so, but what I've run into is that there are women who have set their own boundaries for whatever reason, and that's fine. Where they're like, oh no, I chat with people for 5 weeks before I agree to meet with them face to face. And I say, okay, well, one, I don't do that. I set a boundary for myself of 3 days, maybe a week. And two, if you're telling me that it takes you 5 weeks to know whether or not you want to meet someone face to face, that's a huge red flag. I mean, that is like a Chinese Mayday communist parade of red flags right there. Good luck with that. I don't know what guy has such low self-esteem that he's just going to be chatting for 5 weeks, be like, I hope I get a date. I hope I get a date. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's another Belinda situation where it's just some old, hairy guy hiding in his, his studio apartment, being like, I'm Belinda, and I need you to chat with me for 5 weeks, and then drifts off after that amount. For me, that that's kind of like an aspect of dating that I've set for myself. So one of the extreme examples of I'd say, like, with the bar setting that I've run into a few times, but kind of funny to me, so I thought I'd mention it, are the women that have this romance novel expectation that, like, when you say you're meeting in Starbucks, so like when you come through the door of Starbucks, angelic trumpets start blaring, fireworks are going off, and there's like golden sparkles all around you, and her heart's just going pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. And like, if that doesn't happen, then it's like, it's just a human being. It's not my angel vampire, from my romance novel, come here to sweep me off my feet. And again, if that's fine, if they want their sparkle vampire angel from the romance novels, that's fine. They can have fun with that. Again, it's just one of those things where I thought that was a good example of them just being, single woman, 2023, and they want sparkle vampire, angelic trumpets. So I've talked about kind of the bad stuff. I want to talk about, I have had some good dates, and, in the past, especially when I was young, I had my priorities for what I looked for in people. And, being in my 20s, it was good looks followed by good looks followed by good looks. And, I learned the hard way, I guess would be one way of saying it, or the good way, depending on your perspective, where I had the chance to date some women that were drop dead gorgeous, just beautiful, like supermodels. And it's like, okay, great. But then I would go on dates with them. They were boring as heck. It's just couldn't carry a conversation. I mean, and at that point, it's like, okay, you're like a supermodel, but it's so painful just to be around you. Like, this is this is horrible. And so it's like, I kind of had to reevaluate things, when I was younger, to kind of be like, okay, well, that's not going to work for me. I need to like kind of reorganize my priorities of what I'm looking for in women and my expectations and standards. And so, fast forward to like 2023, because of how selfish, flaky, self-centered everyone is, whatever gender, just across the board in 2023, the things like integrity, loyalty, consistency, those things are so rare in 2023 that I put those right at the top. I mean, 1, 2, and 3. Good looks, smart, can dance, right below. But yeah, I mean, those big 3 are at the top for me. And thankfully, I have, dated women like that are amazing and they're wonderful. I mean, for example, what I'm talking about is like, there are plenty of instances where a woman would agree to a date when she doesn't have to, cancel at the last minute, and just be like, nothing. And it's like, okay, that's kind of shady, but you could have just said not interested way back when, or whatever, ghosting. I mean, take your pick. And so, having, dating women who, they will not commit to, say, a date unless they know that they, 1, can make it, and 2, want to. And if for some unforeseen reason they're, come down with a cold, they'll cancel, apologize profusely, and reschedule themselves and say, look, I can't make Thursday night, but there's this great movie playing at the theater on Monday. How about we go see that? And it's like, yeah, that's great. And again, that's that 1, 2, and 3 for me, where, women in 2023, and I would assume probably, I guess it is for men too, that, people in 2023 that have integrity, loyalty, consistency, they walk their talk, their behavior, their actions match their words. Those are rare. Those people are rare. I mean, those are the diamonds in the pile of coal. And so they're out there, hard to find, but they're out there. And at least for me, like, that is much more fulfilling and important to me than just having a supermodel, who doesn't have any of those attributes. So, yeah, I just thought that this would be, a fun little video to make and just kind of talk about, 2023 and the kiddie pool that has not been cleaned and has been in need of chlorine for 3 weeks now. It's really bad. There's a lot of green mold on the side, and the water's kind of brown, and I think it's been, dry lately because it looks like it's about a foot lower than it should be. And that's the dating pool in 2023. So hopefully it's been fun. Thanks.